Bugatti, Lamborghini, and Koenigsegg. These are just a few of the most expensive hypercars in the world. Today, we're checking out more of them. Welcome to Luxio, where we give you the latest trends in luxury, lifestyle, and business. If you are new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to not miss out on more awesome videos. So, every car in this room is worth more than $1 million. Most of them are made in limited quantity and in top speed. First up, we have the Bugatti Veyron. With a price tag of $1.7 million, Bugatti Veyron has a quad turbocharged W16 engine. In a way, Bugatti did something revolutionary with its automobile in the mid-2000s. They purposefully priced the automobile at over $1 million, not because it made perfect economic sense or because that's what the materials and production costs were, but because it became an extremely exclusive car by doing so. In this case, the $1 Million Club is a new echelon of the car market. After this car was released, any car that cost less than $1 million was considered second tier, owing to the fact that this car cost more than $1 million. It was the fastest car in the world at the time it was created, followed by a few others. Bugatti is still vying for the crown alongside Koenigsegg, Hennessy, and others. Next, we have the Ferrari Aperta. The Aperta, which cost more than $1.5 million, is an open-top version of the standard Ferrari, which is one of the 3 hybrid cars released in the 2010s, along with a Porsche 918 Spider and a McLaren P1. They were all aimed at proving the concept of hybrid propulsion in an ultra-high performance car, and demonstrating that it is a totally viable propulsion solution. This hue is a metallic black that sparkles a lot and has a coarse metal flake in it. This is the Lamborghini Centenario. This $1.9 million car resembles an Aventador. Lamborghinis all have a faceted style in common, and unless you're a true Lamborghini aficionado, you might not notice all the small differences. This Centenario limited edition is more precious than an Aventador or any of the other limited editions that were made at the time and had the best performance. It's 4-wheel drive with 4-wheel steering. It was the highest Lamborghini at the time, and I believe the Sian is the equivalent model currently. Lamborghini continues to produce top-tier limited edition or few-off models, as I believe they are known. This one has very minor blue accents to complement the carbon, similar to the very subtle red accents of the LaFerrari over there. The Pagani Huayra is the next item on our list. This is a one-of-a-kind piece. This is worth a staggering $2.4 million. This one exemplifies how, for those in the market for hypercars, the standard model or automobile as it leaves the factory is frequently not enough, and they want to elevate it to a new degree of uniqueness, as well as the extremes of price, beauty, and exclusivity. Manny Kojbin owns this car in Los Angeles. He's well known for buying hypercars and customizing them further. And in this case, it's by Hermes, a French fashion and accessories brand, who took an automobile that was already outstanding, distinctive, expensive, exotic, and exclusive, and made it even more so. They constructed a one-of-a-kind Hermes edition Pagani for Manny, and this is the only thing like it in the world. There are so many characteristics on this car that are unique to it. All of the metal grills have a small H pattern on them. The interior is entirely made of leather and other materials such as canvases and other items used on Hermes handbags and other products. Next, we have the Deval 16. This is a contentious vehicle since the manufacturer has taken a long time to bring it to market and has yet to do so. They've been working on concepts, prototypes, and test models for years, and many people are unsure whether they'll ever build an actual production automobile that can be purchased and driven. This is from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, worth $1.6 million. Actually, it's a firm owned or started by three brothers who are automotive lovers and have the financial means to create or attempt to produce these cars as a hobby rather than a commercial requirement. It has the appearance of a jet. In fact, they will tell you that the design of the car was influenced by a fighter plane. This is an actual working prototype. I believe the exhaust is a little too small for the car. The name is 16 because one of the three visions of this car will have a 16-cylinder engine, similar to the exhaust of a fighter aircraft. Although, because this is the V8 model, it is the least expensive of the three. It is still close to $1 million, little under $2 million. The Koenigsegg Era is shown here, with $1.46 million in value. It is truly a magnificent automobile. It's loaded with a highly distinctive metal flake, just like the Ferrari over there. In this case, I'm informed it's constructed out of genuine smashed diamonds, which is something you'd expect on a car of this level and exclusivity. It's applied to the clear, which is then applied to the carbon, creating a one-of-a-kind appearance. Koenigsegg is one of the most prestigious automobile brands in the world. Boutique success stories in the hypercar sector began small and remained small, but they grew to be enormously successful and recognized. This is one of just 2 final edition Ageras ever made. This is something that a lot of people didn't think would happen. Carbon could be treated in a fashion and have the proper strength to act as a function for wheels a few years ago, but they are now utilized very frequently in hypercars. This car presently holds the official world speed record, which was formerly held by Bugatti. Those that develop automobiles in modest quantities in this country often hope to be as successful as Koenigsegg. The Hennessy Venom F5. Hennessy has made an attempt to get it. I don't believe they have the official record, but they've certainly reached speeds that compete for the title. In a race to be the quickest, Hennessy, an American business, is competing against Bugatti and Koenigsegg. Hennessy has stated flatly that the entire purpose of developing this car is to be the quickest in the world. It wasn't intended to go any further than that. They wanted to build the world's quickest production car, and this model, the F5, which is worth $2.1 million in the market, has not yet been thoroughly tested. So far, they haven't broken any records with it, but they plan to push it well over 300 miles per hour and break the existing record held by Koenigsegg. The McLaren Speedtail. The steering wheel in the center is a derivative of the famed McLaren F1 from a few years ago, estimated to be around $1.2 to $2 million. It's the spiritual heir to the F1 in certain ways. It was very logical and expected that it would be in the center of the steering wheel. The look is quite distinct. It's unlike anything else in the room, and it's very appealing. It is something that is the consequence of aerodynamic processes sculpting it. Aerodynamic computations, fluid dynamics, and the like aren't created solely to appeal to the human side, and it's almost as though a single water droplet is dropping from the sky. It isn't designed in the same way or with the same aim as any of the other cars in the room, which distinguishes it as unique. This one contains a lot of minor nuances as well. We've been looking at cars that are mostly black or carbon with a few colored clues, but this one has fantastic red raw carbon details here and there. as well as a metal flake that is probably hard to detect in the camera. Because the wheels are one of a kind, this is also for aerodynamic purposes, very similar to the car's overall design. The wheel and tire revolve around this, yet it doesn't move toward this fence because it's a permanent panel. When you first get into this, it takes some getting used to understand how everything works and what it takes to maneuver it. This is the NIO EP9. Although they have locations in California and Europe, NIO is a Chinese firm. After building this car, their goal is to truly showcase themselves to the world. They'll shift their focus to producing more common cars, sedans, and SUVs. It's not always the most practical solution, but it results in a magnificent design. For a time, this held the Nürburgring speed record for electric vehicles. It has also set an autonomous speed record in the United States. The top speed is 195 miles per hour, and this is an all-electric vehicle. Typical acceleration times for electric vehicles are 2.7 seconds. Typical acceleration times for electric vehicles are 2.7 seconds, but not necessarily high peak speed, because the electric motors and batteries are better at accelerating than they are at maintaining a steady top speed for lengthy periods of time. The design is simply gorgeous, with a hefty price tag of $2.5 million. Are you ready for the last one? It's the Remits Concept 1. Built in 2015 by a very young guy in Croatia, this electric sports car and supercar is a true pioneer in the electric sports car and supercar industry. The price is at $1.6 million, trying to establish the viability of electric propulsion in sports cars while simultaneously marketing its engineering expertise to the rest of the world. Mate Remits and Remits the company sell their electric vehicle technology to a variety of other companies all around the world. Selling their technology to others is the basis of their company. Companies like Koenigsegg, Aston Martin, Porsche, and others. However, this only reflects their engineering talents. Spectacular 4 independent electric motors that allow torque vectoring at each wheel individually. This results in incredible acceleration. Richard Hammond famously crashed one of these. This is one of 8, and now there are only 7 left. As a result, he increased their rarity. Although the one that crashed still exists and is still owned by the firm, they are still trying to figure out what to do with it. It is a burned wreck. It did burn for a long time, and the fact that he survived is a credit to some of the car's qualities. I hope you enjoyed checking out these super cool hypercars. Once again, thank you for staying with us today. If you liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again next time.